as Zidonian had to leave me. I'm right now joined by Coffee. Hello.
Hello, good morning. It is the beautiful time of 3 in the morning here in New Zealand. I'm currently in the computer lab at the university because my flatmate said they do not want me shouting at this time of morning. I don't really blame them one bit, but here we are. It took a little bit of time, but we are now ready to get into our lower bracket semi-final.
We have EPG Frozen going up against 3K Blue now. They will decide who will go up against Pepe Malady in the grand final. In the meantime, we have already the map draft done as we take a look at it. We see EPG Frozen banning out House of Doom and Battlefield of Eternity. On the other side, 3K Blue banning out Sky Temple and Dragonshire. And then we see 3K Blue with the pick on Volskaya Foundry, which gives EPG Frozen the first pick.
Now, we did see both of these teams actually play on Volskaya during their previous matches, both getting the W, so it will be interesting to see what we have here. Now, I am a little bit interested because I suspect there was a bit of a skill gap between our two previous games. I think that we had a much higher quality game in the upper bracket, so it will be interesting to see how these teams match. They're also very different drafting strategies that we saw from the game, so I think it should be a good indicator of what we can expect in the finals as to how well both of these teams play here, not just the winner.
Yeah, we will see who will go up in the finals against Pepe Malady as we are starting into Austin's best of 3 series in the lower bracket final between EPG Frozen and 3K Blue. It is going to be Volskaya Foundry with the first pick on the side of EPG Frozen.
And the first pick is somewhat interesting, as we've seen throughout the knockout round of the Mythic Championship, we've seen a very high priority on Imperius. The hero has 100% pick ban so far, always showing up in the drafts, and has got a very impressive win rate. And what makes it so surprising to me is that Imperius is often coming out as the first pick, and when the current Imperius build is of course focused on the Q, but if you aren't able to channel the stun, hold them up on that spear for the full duration, then you are going to be missing out a lot of value. So I'm surprised that we haven't seen a better job of shutting him down. But regardless, we are now into the first ban. As he said, it is 3K Blue with a first pick, so we will see what happens with Imperius, of course.
Yeah,
Well,
we
actually gets banned
immediately
away.
see a band coming out. On the side of EPG Frozen, we see X-Ray, a genius drafter from the sides of Feel the Heat. And I saw him the other day in his stream playing in Storm League a lot of ETC because he was facing this Imperius, getting in the knockback, getting in the power slide, trying to interrupt the Qs of Imperius and making him his life a living hell.
And we did see in the previous series with the side of EPG Foes that we saw a lot of priority on some of their pocket picks. We saw Hype every game actually banning away the Tracer and the Medivh, but so far they have been left open and Imperius to ban away. We'll see now what our other banners here, and will it be no, actually it's gonna be Anna. So Medivh's open, Tracer's open, EPG Frozen are free to take some of their favor out of meta picks if they want to.
Yeah,
But of course, Cassia is open.
yeah, Ultralisk and Dino are two people which are getting target banned a lot, and it's not only about here, but we still see the standard approach going for the Cassia, very strong hero right now, just in terms of damage numbers and survivability. So going
Yeah,
for some fun first of all.
the hero is a little bit ridiculous at the moment. The nerfs came out, but all that really happened is that people realized, you know what, the Thunderstrike's level 1, that's also a pretty good talent, so we can go for that one instead. But we are seeing a very high priority on the Chromie here. Nano going for one of his favorite picks in that Chromie. Now, it is very high up, so there is ample time to see, yep, this is almost exactly as I was expecting. Medivh and Galish very nicely together. Medivh so good against the Chromie, able to prevent any loop shenanigans really. So I like this rotation out of EPG, but I feel like it should have been expected by the side of 3K Blue.
Yeah, especially leaving Ultralisk the Medivh open. He and Wit play a lot together in Field the Heat, so they have the communication on point. Ultralisk Medivh is just getting banned again after again. So this combination is really strong. It's kind of like You see the opponent Gara, she will get a portal, he walks through, lands in your face, throws you in, and he can get back through it. So Garrett will have a very nice time going in with those portals for the engages. From the side of 3K Blue, we now see the ban against Marfur, making sure we don't see the route into maybe even a Twilight Dream from the side of EPG Frozen to follow up onto the throw.
And we do now have a third ban coming in, Malfurion and Deathwing. Now, I do find the Malfurion ban a little bit surprising. I don't think that heals for support that the side of EPG, EPG Frozen were looking for. So perhaps they were scared of Druids going through the portal and hitting them all with the Twilight Dream, but there's so many other supports open that I'm not sure if that's what you want to be targeting. Now, we do see May and Sylvanas. May, of course, not having access to the Avalanche due to some bugs with it, so this will be a re-isol, and it can be quite nice as, in a way, it's kind of like the Medivh Ultimate as well, because it puts all the stasis.
And also the Sylvanas, Kamina said it before already, I really love to see Sylvanas players trying to get to edge out the value they have for the team by just pushing down some towers from time to time, getting some damage in, and so on. But now we have the next two picks from the side of EPG Frozen, Stukov and Blaze. It is Stukov, very strong hero, silence, root, and a lot of auto attack damage if you get too close to him.
The pick that really matters though is the Blaze. The Bunker is very nice against what we're seeing from 3K Blue. Pretty much shuts down anything that Chromie wants to do with loop nonsense, because even if Medivh used his protection, by the way, you can just jump into the Bunker and no real problems there. Tyrael was the last pick, and this is presumably going over offlane against the Blaze. We'll be lacking a little bit in the wave clear, and I'm a little concerned for side of 3K Blue. They've drafted two very bursty mage-style damage dealers against the Medivh.
I also kind of miss the hard CC for Cassia. I mean, yes, you have the Maybelline, you have the Deca root. You also have to hit those first. Like, there's nothing along the lines of a power slide or a throw. He makes Cassia stand still, so she loses her armor. It's going to be a really tough game to kill the Cassia.
I feel like Dino's just going to have an absolute field day. He's got everything he needs in order to fight this, and he's very lucky that Avalanche is banned, because that would be the one way that I can see the side of 3K Blue draft working. If they're able to Avalanche was Cassia out of you, you're left with no real reliable damage dealers, but that's not an option for them, so unless I can hope to catch the Cassia in the Ice Wall, I think it's going to be so difficult for them to win any sort of fight in the mid to late game. We will, of course, have to see what happens, though.
As we're heading into the game, I'm heading over to you, Coffee, as you will be joined by Transparent for the cast.
Yes, thank you very much, Sammy. It is me, Transparent, here with Coffee now, and we have a fantastic series, it looks like. So we have EPG Frozen on the left side in the blue. We have Dino on Cassia, Wit on Garrosh, X-Ray on Stukov. We have Gia on the Blaze, and of course, on the Medivh is Ultralisk.
And on the red team, we have the side of 3K Blue. It is Exilium playing Sylvanas, Calm playing May, Jangsor playing Deckard, Nano playing his trusty Chromie, and OP Deathlife playing the Tyrael. Starting off with 5 and 5 in the mid lane. Advantage going against the Chromie, actually. Wet's going in, looking for a cheeky foe, maybe a little bit too ambitious. Taking a lot of damage. Protection, by the way, is pretty good. So is the portal, so he will get away with it, but maybe a little bit too much for the first wave.
Yeah, what I like about both of these teams is they sort of all have a similar amount of control between them both. Obviously, the May provides a lot of crowd control, and we see Exilom getting thrown away by the Garrosh on the side of EPG Frozen instead. Now, the red team will be looking to try and pressure, but Ultralisk is being so annoying on this Medivh already, trying to get those stacks up, going incredibly aggressively, and putting some little portals down for maybe Wit to do some surprise attacks as well. Yeah, both teams off to a stellar start right now with a little bit of a good old rotation between the top and the mid, and blue team already starting on their fortification camp.
I'm going to have to take your word for this, because I have unfortunately disconnected from the game. Not quite sure what's going on here. But as he says, is Medivh Gaussian year of the game. It is very annoying at getting these rotations if you're not able to stop them. May doesn't exactly have the most reliable forms of crowd control, so he's pretty much free to do whatever he wants. Now back in here as As he said, done the fortification camp is the blue team. Now setting up the support camp, and now we have 5 members coming up here, so it's 5v5. The fortification camps, the red team's not being done, so they're losing out already, but the point has gone down. It is the Stukov silence on top of it.
Yeah, and Garrosh is looking to fight on the
point.
point. May is also standing on top of there. Tyrael taking through the front, but Dino and crew are backing out now. Even after dropping their own turret, they were unable to pick up the support camp. Calm going very aggressive on this main, not really on a lot of hit points, and Januxa is trying their best to keep them healthy and living. But Exlor gets thrown in and blown up straight away. Beautiful first blood here for the side of EPG Frozen.
And it is a pretty big loss, though, for the side of EPG, that they weren't able to pick up the support camp, that they did have to drop their own turret and not find it, but getting the kill does help. Now, Tyrael has himself a bar commander for the next objective. They really need to get this turret camp, because just the time we're ticking down on the blue side turret camp, it's going to be back up soon, so they're not even going to be too far behind. Now, starting up the assault troopers are Dino next. They're going to be taking those ones, while that turret camp is finally getting taken by our red team.
Yeah, this is surprisingly late, I must admit. I suppose they were trying to respond and make sure they were there for that support camp fight later on. Because of the annoyance of the Medivh early in the game, the EPG Frozen have been executing so well. It just meant they had a little bit of advantage with this fortification camp. And it meant that they got the kill, but they are obviously down a support camp for this first objective.
XP at the moment going to be in the side of EPG, but Exilium at the top lane here is a nice big wave to clear out, so that should be even out pretty soon. As and now is the point going in the way of EPG. Exilium now this pushing top lane. He has taken the Mercenary Queen actually at level 4, so these assault troops are going to do a lot.
Yeah, that Mercenary
Queen.
Queen.
See response coming out at some point.
Yeah, Mercenary Queen being a popular talent on this map indeed, because it does empower the turrets as well. So when you're doing those big fights on those objectives, you get a much beefier, much more angry damage-dealing turret. Ultralisk doing very well on the Medivh at the moment, up to 29 stacks, so we'll be looking to try and finish them off quickly in this first objective. 87% now on the blue team with this percentage with the first objective. Are they going to be able to close it out at 99%? Yep, absolutely. They've got it now. And just picking up their own fortification camp, ready for a big old brawl, hopefully with 7 talents as well, if they're lucky.
Calm getting to the point just in time, and now we're having a little bit of an invade. Exilium, the first one in there. Don't know if you want to be frontlining on Sylvanas. Now hit by the silence. Garrosh not able to find the throw though, as we are having an all-out brawl here at London's turret camp. May going into Ice Block, and here come the items from the red team though. Now it is EPG running to the hills. Wit gets the throw there, will jump into a portal of his own, and they will all survive. Get the items out of the red team. Exilium though, maybe staying a little bit too long, going to get himself killed, so this will likely be the Protector going over to EPG in the end.
Yeah, Exelum enjoying the tourist destination that is the fortification camp of the blue team a little bit too much. But here we go, the blue team now going in, trying to get a kill on Nano as well. After getting the kill on Sylvanas, they're just trying to pressure as much as they can. Ultralisk goes in with a deep dive of the portal. Beautiful stuff here from Ultralisk. Very aggressive stuff.
Speaking of Ultralisk, this is the Master's Touch already finished the 5-minute mark. X-Ray maybe getting a little bit too cheeky here, but he's going to be just fine and May's going to fall. This Medivh is doing so much work for them, man. We haven't even hit level 8 yet. Chromie isn't even trying to get anything with Temporal Loop. This is just Medivh being such a strong pick, one of the Ultra's favorites, and you can see now why Hyper banning it out early in the day.
Yeah, it's banned out so often. It's one of those really annoying heroes to play against. It had success in the Legendary Cup just yesterday as well, and we're seeing it played by extremely well by Ultralisk here today. Now, they're taking down this front fort instead. They already had got the gates, so there's a little bit of advantage, but they're going quite deep, and they're trying to make some plays with the Protector's ability. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to get this fort. A little bit of a risky play here from the side of EPG Frozen, and well cleaned up by 3K Blue.
It was all a bait all along, though. If you're looking at your minimap thing, right, you will notice that there's a massive wave of EPGs crashing into the top lane turrets. Nano only catching the very end of it, so even though it doesn't look like the Protector did it all, but they've actually managed to get themselves a full level lead here. Now with the Heroics, they are diving to forward Gia, tanking up the turret, where it's going in as well, but I don't know if he's quite able to find anything. Jumps back out through the portal, and the fort will go down. Here comes Deathlive though.
Yeah, trying to use this level 10 advantage. They've used them all now, apart from Bunker. So we do see the engage coming back in now after that Leyline Seal. Nano's going to get thrown out. No Ice Block just yet. And the Bunker used a little bit for extra damage here. Gia popping that out. Once again, beautiful portal play. Exelon managing to get out with her Banshee Queen abilities.
3K Blue, I'm not sure why they were looking for the fight there. They're down to level 10s. They're down now almost level and a half. Wit and Friends taking away the Assault Trooper camp, and the Snowball is well and truly underway at this point. For the team that's probably better in the late game anyway. XO now taking a very aggressive path, decides better that perhaps. No, actually going to go over it. They're still at their level 10, so they own this fortification camp.
And they're really tunneling down on OP Death Live. Ultralisk being able to peel away a little bit. Wit now is stuck in a little bit, and Wit does go down. This is the first kill here for 3K Blue. The Sanctification goes down as well, just to prevent any additional damage. Are they going to try and snowball their way forward now? Oh, Coffee, it's been such an aggressive game so far. I mean, well, if you've watched all the cups in the past 2 weeks, you'll have seen that they're sort of more methodical. Even the Legendary Cup, you know, high level of play. But today, with the Mythic Championship, it's just endless aggression from both teams, really each one trying to outplay the other.
We seem to just trying to call each other out. It's now Deathlife going for an attempt again on the fortification camp. Gets shoved away though. Now it is another item going over to the side of EPG. X-Ray with the heal, Gia with the turret. Very nicely set up for the blue team on this next objective now. They will be level 13 well in advance. The support camp will be back up soon as well. They're going to have level 13s well ahead of 3K Blue, so that would be another item they can look to get possibly.
Now I'm trying to work out how 3K Blue can use their heroic abilities to maybe combo something into a kill. Perhaps they'll put Medivh Stasis with the May Ice Wall or something else while using the Temporal Loop by Chromie, but it just seems like it's going to be a little bit of an awkward job. Wit unable to get out, and he's going to be portaled back straight in there. Oh, Wit has no way of escaping right now, and he will indeed go down. We do see Dino right in the midst of things as well. The red team looking to try and close things down. 3K White looking to get this Dino kill, but Dino is Cassia. Dino lives with the portals going out as well. The beautiful big sleep from Januxa on the deck of Kane. Exelon also looking maybe a little bit lower on health as well. Dino still endless aggression going towards Nano. Everyone's so low on the side of 3K White, and Calm is going to finally go down through Blaze. Oh, and Nano may be picked up as well. Dino is so deep. Oh, these two teams really trying to outplay each other. Ultralisk are unable to take to the skies there. Oh,
these teams really enjoy clashing with each other. The fight's not done yet, but the Sanctification goes down, but Dino, he's level 13 on Cassia, and you know what that means? That means speedy time, more travel picked up for him, so now going to look to cut away, actually just going to go under the fence. He doesn't really care at this point. He's jumping the bunker, but now he wants blood. He's going to try and find Sylvanas. Won't be able to find anything. Actually, and I said Gia managed to find a kill. Poor old Januxa maybe caught out, but Ruby's a pretty good talent. Now, Dino caught up in the root, so going to be in trouble actually. Gets thrown away during the ice wall. A little bit interesting interaction there. As it will be for carry falling. Dino is gone, but it looks like nothing too much more is going to happen here, but in the whole time, X-Ray was just standing over top point.
Endless brawling from both teams here. I'm not sure if they just want to get in each other's faces and just sort of prove who's the better micro player or not, or if these are real sort of, this is actually good stuff. Let's just keep on brawling here. And we see the top objective taken by EPG Frozen, so they certainly knew what they were doing here. They're going to pick up the support camp. Exelon going very low here, getting taken out by the Protector. Are they going to try and get some structure push, or are they just going to keep in these team fights?
This seems a little bit crazy. Sylvanas probably doesn't want to be standing right next to the Protector. You were saying that we're also going to take a quite interesting series of events that potentially get comeback can. That's what we did see at the very start, with Garrosh going a little bit too deep under the turret, having a little bit of fun, but actually just throws Nano into a laser. He's having a lot of fun at the moment, going to get the taunts, but nothing really happening. In the meantime, Cassia and Blaze trying to find something on the bottom side. Bunker will be dropped, but Deathlife gets to safety. And once again, the Protector's just a bamboozles. The main action's happening elsewhere. As kills on the bottom side, Dino and Gia trying to look for something in the bottom. As to get another kill on Sylvanas. This is a very interesting game. Can't say I expected this.
12 kills to 4 here in this lower bracket final. We see EPG Frozen really showing a dominant force. They were putting macro pressure all over the map there just by using that objective. And they look like they're going in for a big portal here too as well to get Januxa. But Januxa is safe on their mount. Is able to just ring around the roses around the keep. I'm not sure quite how much sieging power this team has with just a Cassia and a Mendiv as the DPS, but Wit is going in for the throws and just manages to catch a minion instead of Januxa.
And, well, it's quite easy to push if you get some kills, as they're looking for another one on Tyrael for taunts, but it won't happen. But it's a huge leyline seal, actually, onto the stack of Kane, but Medivh's the one that falls to Chromie spells, not able to get the Protect by the way off, but the side of EPG don't care, they want to keep on fighting. The heal cap goes down and Ice Wall catches out the Blaze. Here comes the sleep as we just see Dino trying to make a run for it. Called by May as this is a full-on retreat now from EPG. Turns out finding out Medivh is hard as Wit gets hit by the temporal loop. No unstoppable, he's pulled back in. Commands all 3 Dragon's Breaths and that will be him falling. Dino gets slid on by May with the icing. He's trying to pull something off. Gets a lot actually from the Stukov, but even Cassia, actually, who am I kidding? Cassia's pretty good. Not going to be caught in the end by Sylvanas. Gia now running to the fort. Looks like should be fine. Juggernaut plating coming in with safety, and we are not done with the brawling. These teams absolutely determined to fight each other as X-Ray holds the point for a long time with the silence, and Ultras trying to take on the whole team by herself. This is a very interesting game. We have 19 kills already.
At the end of the day, Coffee, like the kills coming out from 3K Blue are not getting any structure value.
Not done yet.
And
Ultras going in again.
They need to start getting some structures down, though, from the side of 3K Blue. They have Sylvanas, so they will be able to do it at some point. But I guess the kills are keeping them in the game for now. But it really looks like it is in EPG Frozen's hands still at the moment.
Absolutely. They have all the forts down, so they're set up very nicely to look for the next Protector. But somehow I get the feeling we'll be having a fight before that objective comes up, as the turret will get taken away. Deathlife now on the flank, but you can't run from a Medivh, buddy. Goes back in with the level 13 tier, drops the Sank to buy some time. Gia taking up the front line, though, very nicely, thanks to Juggernaut plating. Deathlife not quite able to find it. Gia goes in with the charge, finds 2, then jumps in the bunker, avoiding Tyrael tray. Very nicely done. Now Dino's on the chase, thrown in by Wit, jumping onto the back line. He's found himself a Decane, gonna try and clean that one up, but the old man is determined. War Traveler, though, gets him up there. Surge of Light finds the kill. May as well falling, so everything at the moment is coming up the way of EPG. Very nicely done by them. I said there would be a fight before the next Protector, and that's absolutely what we got.
Yeah, this does seem to be, another partial team wipe by EPG Frozen, just able to then put structure pressure on again, and they are going to take this middle keep, it looks like. But OPG Deathlife is looking like to maybe get up. Once again, a big stun from Gia onto Exelon. Exelon really needs to be careful on that Sylvanas, because EPG Frozen are punishing them so hard when they step forward, even the tiniest bit. Oh, and
6 deaths now onto Sylvanas, 5 onto Chromie, and it's so many kills going over to EPG. I think if there's ever any doubt as to whether you should leave Ultras Medivh up, I think we're very much shown you should not. This hero enables so much for this team, and they're absolutely willing to play aggressive with the portals, look for whatever opportunities they can take. Now they're getting themselves a Bark Emitter, they're getting themselves a Protector, they're getting themselves L20 there. Perfectly set up to end this game once that Protector is theirs.
Do you think they're going to just go straight through that open mid keep then with this third Protector, Coffee?
That's the easiest. If you take a full health Protector onto the core, even though it's the third one that's kind of early into the game, it's still plenty strong enough for them to finish, especially with the lead that they have. But it looks like we're having one more fight before a Protector comes up, which means it's a 4v5. As now the sleep does find Stukov, but there's no damage on top of him as Cassie's kind of killing them all at the moment. Sylvanas falls, running down Nano, goes into timeout, but you can't do much more than stagger your death, my friend, as Deathlife doing what he can, but he's a Tyrael trying to smack a Blaze. Nothing's going to happen. Here comes Ultras, he's found himself a Protector to come with him, as Dino having a lot of fun chasing down these members, but it will be Deathlife actually getting away thanks to Eldruin, but this should be the end of the game. You have both of your damage dealers dead. Can march onto the core with a Protector. Still a little bit of fun up on the top side here as now, but
yeah,
onto
beautiful
the core
play
for
there.
Protector and some more. This should be the end of the game.
Yeah, EPG Frozen did so well in that last team fight as well. Just it was a ditch effort from 3K Blue, but Wit was able to throw Cassia out into the fray and pop Indomitable to be able to interrupt Decade Kane's sleep ultimate that could have been the last chance for 3K Blue, but it looks like they're just picking up a couple more kills just before perhaps finishing on this core here on Volskaya Foundry.
Handing the stats a little before finishing up game number 1 in very dominant fashion. Easily a win for side of EPG Frozen, as getting every last kill they can before killing the core.
That's going to be GG, and I'll pass you back to Sammy as well now for the map draft and draft for game 2.
Transparents, well played there by EPG Frozen, looking pretty damn strong in this first game of the series.
And you're just left wondering, why was this Medivh left open? A hype had the right idea, banning away both games, and you can see now why, just so aggressive, even giving Wit the gouge to go with it. Every opportunity that they could possibly have had, they took all the fights they could, and showed that they are mechanically capable as well as bold, as getting so many more kills than the opposing team. 24-7 in the end was the kill score, so I mean, there's one thing that I want 3K Blue to do, and I think it's very obvious. You need to get rid of this Medivh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Ultralisk's Medivh is getting banned out, and as you said, we just saw it there. Especially, I personally really don't like the draft from 3K Blue there. It's a really tough to execute draft, and this against the Medivh Garage combo, so it's just a very tough thing for them to execute.
I'm still very surprised by the decision to go for a very bursty blob comp against Ultralisk when Medivh is open for me. You pick the Chromie so early. You pick Sylvanska with it. You're looking to burst down a single person, but guess what? Medivh is the perfect hero to go against that now. And let's say they could maybe look to ban away from Medivh, but this is an idea as well, as we are now going to Braxis as our second match here in the series. Braxis is a map where you can't really get any value with Medivh on the rotation so much because, well, it's a 2-lane map. You're not really looking to pile on as much as you are on our 3-lane maps in the game. So
with
could look for something maybe a little bit different.
With 3K Blue losing map number 1, they had the choice between first pick or map pick. They opted into the first pick, and then EPG Frozen choose Braxis Hollow, which is a very strong pick for the second pick, because this way you have the very last pick, which gives you a little bit the edge in normal Storm League games. But this is comparative Heroes of the Storm. Here's Braxis has different rules here. On Braxis, you usually have one top anchor, you have one bot anchor, you rotate with 3 people around, do camps and try to gank stuff.
And we will see what ends up happening is the teams are all ready to go. We shouldn't be having too much more of a delay, as we will see what ends up happening here. Most teams I know aren't really that versus Braxis. They don't like the map. I don't really blame them one bit, but as you mentioned, this is a definite favorite for the side of EPG, so we will see if 3K Blue have anything prepared, because they knew this was an option and they chose to leave it up, didn't want to ban Braxis away, so maybe they have something fun in store for us. But we are now getting into game number 2 as let's begin.
Game number 2. Braxis holdout first pick on the side of 3K Blue.
And last game I was talking about the PS, but on the 4-lane map, on the potential 4-man you can go for here, Cassia is so high value. One of the most ridiculous early game fighters in the game. Even after the nerf, I'd say you want to go for the charge strikes, get the ricochet on as many members as possible. Don't want to be going for any of that late game nonsense with the Q build on this map here.
In the meantime, betting is set up. So exclamation mark bet A if you think EPG Frozen will close out this series in a quick 2-0, or exclamation mark bet B if you think 3K Blue manages to come back and win map number 2.
And well, you did mention this in the draft already, that second pick on particular this map is very nice. As we're not seeing Medivh again, I'm very glad to see this. Well, I tend to favor the second pick highly anyway, because you can pick some fringe hero that doesn't really come out much, and there's absolutely nothing that can be done to counter it. And you're giving Now, the second pick over to EPG, who you know have all sorts of fun tricks up their sleeve, so maybe we'll see something exciting here as their last pick, even though, as I said, it's not Stormling, so we're probably not going to see just the solo lane counter pick that you might be more used to. As Cassie is banned away, not going to see that one first picked.
Yeah, definitely. EPG Frozen, knowing they have the second pick, so if they leave Cassie open, 3K Blue will most likely pick her up, deciding to remove her from the game instead. Meanwhile, 3K Blue removing Imperius as well, as we know it's one of Wit's favorites lately, as he really enjoys to play the hero, and he also fits very well for this map because of Braxis. Braxis is a lot about brawling and rotate and ganking, depending on how you play it. And there, Imperius just shines at this.
He's just been very high priority the entire days. Johanna will be the final ban, which is a little bit interesting. The hero has fallen down quite a bit of popularity since the recent nerf to the Iron Skin cooldown, so suggests that maybe we're going to see a high CC blow up composition from the side of EPG. It's first pick now for the side 3K Blue. Probably just going to go for a strong, yeah, on the tier list is pretty high up.
Yeah, and a very strong with Nano Boost, possibly opting into maybe a Medivh. Into a Mephisto might have been a possibility, but not really that much on this map. But we've got another special coming in from the side of EPG Frozen, as we see Dino picking up Junkrat and Ultralisk on the Genji.
You're talking about the rotations between the lanes. Well, Medivh is banned, which is the easy one, but here you have two dealers who have their own mobility to jump over the boss wall in the middle and so quickly rotate between the lanes. Genji, he keeps getting nerfs to straight, but they keep buffing the jumping trait cooldown reduction to compensate. So he's still nice and quick and getting around the map, despite the continued nerfs to his mobility. As Tasto and EC picked up, it looks like 3K Blue just want to play a standard 1-4, but I get a feeling the EPG aren't going to let them do so.
Yeah, I mean, ETC is quite good at punishing Genji and a little bit of Junkrat, because one thing you always have to keep in mind, Junkrat does mainly do useless poke damage, except for the Reptile, who is a really big threat, and also he has his big displacement tools with the Mine and the Trap, so you have to be very careful around those. And I mean, Tesla is one of the heroes who tends to stand a lot, so Junkrat could abuse this quite a lot.
And, well, exactly as you described, we're seeing two anchors come out now from the side of EPG. Zul and Vex are very capable of holding lanes. If X and Clee, you're not really going to be able to just push in either of them. Zul can be a little bit dangerous if he extends too far, but Wit is a smart enough player to know not to do that, I would imagine. We'll see what we get here as the last picks. What do you want to take into Rexar that is safe against ganks by Genji and Junkrat? Looks like the answer is Sonya. And Phoenix will also be picked up. Not here you see too much.
No, you definitely do not. But on the side of EPG Frozen, as the healer, we also see something not played too much. It's going to be the Kerosene picked up by X-Ray now. Also a very strong rotation hero with those Iron Fists on level 1. You deal a lot of damage. And with the possible 7-sided, if you manage to isolate a target with the Junkrat Mine and then the 7-sided comes in, that's pretty much a dead cow or whatever gets thrown in that moment.
And we know that this is a hero X-Ray likes to play on the Hero Chance 2 channel in the round 1 match of the playoffs. We did see X-Ray pick up the Karazim in one of those games, so definitely something they were ready to bring out. And again, Finn's composition now. Karazim, he doesn't really have his own mobility until level 4 of the ally, but he can just ready dash to either Junkrat or Genji, who have already jumped over the stupid wall. So another hero that can play very nicely into this rotation format. I'm really liking the idea behind the EPG Frozen draft.
Yes, and as we're heading into the game, I'm going to head you back over towards Transparent.
Thank you very much, Samo. Yes, we go into game 2 here on the lower finals of the Mythic Championship. Yes, this is what 3K Blue need to win to be able to stay in the competition. Otherwise, EPG Frozen, if they win this, they go straight to the grand final. That's going to be fantastic news for them. So, on this blue team, we do have EPG frozen with Dino on the Junkrat, Ultralisk on the Genji. We have Wit on the Zul, X-Ray on Karazim, and Gia playing that Rexar in the top.
And on the red team, we have 3K Blue fighting for a tournament lives in this game. It is OP Deathlive playing Sonya, Exilium playing Phoenix, Calm playing Itsu, who's about to face Checker Bush. Slides out to safety though, looks like he'll be fine. Nano playing Tasta, and Janksar playing Ana, as we have already seen the rotations going. And one thing is already standing out of level 1 towns. We are not seeing Agile Dismount from Genji going instead for Swift as the winners. Exilium, here comes the Goon Squad, going to warp out to safety, dodge. Well, it's not really safety because he's still going to just die straight away, but tries to avoid the room prison, but that's one very dead Phoenix, and it's already a little bit of a disaster. Turret going down so quickly, there's nothing the Sonya can do about it. We see the frantic rotation of ETC and Ana, but I don't know if this is where you want to be, my friends, as they're already hightailing out of here are these nice and mobile heroes. X-Ray and Wit starting up the Goliath camp, and that'll be attacked by quite quickly. Maybe wanting to grip those up a little bit for the Zul Curse Strikes, but shouldn't be too long for that. So much tempo though going over to our blue team as Dino's also starting up a camp of his own.
Yeah, so this is obviously one of those annoying Braxis compositions that we've seen back in the old days a little bit, where there's a lot of hyper-mobile heroes with 2 heroes that can sort of stay in the off lanes, safely soaking. And we're looking for a lot of ganks coming out of EPG Frozen and a little bit of extra structure pressure when they can, just like we saw at the very start of the game. Now, we do see...
This is clearly a time strategy. They finished both camps at the same time, and now they're looking for the invade. Sidevo onto Wit, and he's not particularly tanky, going to be falling. Point control is in favor of EPG, is now Exo trying to make a run for it. He's not level 4, he doesn't have an ally yet, so Ultrask also, actually, he might, not quite in time to get his Karazim to safety, but...
Yeah, and we do see
Now,
Dino dueling Nano here at the bottom instead, but Januxa being able to keep them up and Dino just controlling the point with the Junkrat mine. Yeah, oh, it seems like 3K White have found themselves a Genji as well, but Ultralisk, of course, is going to be able to dash away, Coffee. Oh.
You think you've found yourselves Genji, but he's always got another mobility tool, does our friendly little ninja here, is going to jump away again from Calm's power slide, as now going to have to reset, so we will see a short reprieve most likely before the action starts again, but here comes the Karazim gank onto Deathlive. Looks like he'll be just fine though. As Exilium's on the way, maybe we're going to try and look for something in the 2v2 here, as going in onto X-Play, taking quite a bit of damage, but now Ultrask is here.
Yeah, this is a minor early game advantage for 3K Blue. They have got the 2 kills and they've just picked up... Oh no, they've just lost someone themselves on the top lane. Yep, Genji able to maybe clear that last one as well. Is he going to be able to escape? He's got 10 HP. 10 hit points. Obviously very well calculated here from Ultralisk to be able to get that Phoenix kill, as well as the Sonya
Maybe he
pickup.
wants to calculate for Swiss Strike a little bit as that one went wide, but yeah, that's the annoying Genji things you always like to see in meme about. Gets away with a slither of health, just so obnoxious. Now a point once again in control of EPG. Dino just fighting with Nano, but Deathlive will be coming down to pick up this point, so no Zerg wave just yet.
Yeah, this was of course the map pick from EPG Frozen, so they do know what they're doing. Absolutely, and X-Ray is very deep in here, as we see Phoenix goes down to Ultralisk in the background. OP Deathlight trying to spin around as much as possible, but he does get slept. Is this the time where Ultralisk is going to go down? The Sonya is going forward as much as possible, and Ultralisk is falling once again down to about 100 health points, and it's just trying to battle through. Januxa also with the sleeps, maybe being able to peel Sonya out and away, but that is going to be a full 100% Zerg wave here on the side of EPG Frozen.
Yep, that will be the Zerg wave going over to EPG. Very nicely played, exactly as Samo was saying before we got into game. Looking for those consistent rotations, getting the Goon Squad going between lanes, and now rewarded with a nice and juicy 100-0 Zerg wave marching down the top 4. And Nano has arrived to try and defend, but I'm not sure what you're going to be able to do against this much of a push, as well. 4 is going to go down. See if there's an engage now. This is looking to be 5.
Yeah, this relentless pressure from EPG Frozen. They're looking to try and pick up OPT Deathlive at the side here, but Karma's coming in for the peel, and they should be able to live. They've picked up the first fort of the game, and Ultralisk does get stunned as well, and the sleep. I think that's going to be lights out for Genji this time. No getting away with it.
And nobody was sad to see the Genji fall, I imagine, after being this obnoxious. Now, Dino defended the bottom Zerglaive and is now getting a little bit of a push. Maybe overstaying his welcome, though, but Calm walks into the trap. It was all planned, drops the spray just to let him know that he was ready for this nonsense. And everything going so well for EPG at the moment. They've got the top 4. It's even harder than it already was to be up there. You have absolutely no safety now. Not even your wall is there to save you.
Yeah, and Ultralisk dodging away just there as well. Misha able to peel this general big team fight. Pre-10 here. They're trying to do something. Maybe be able to get a pick up on Wit instead. But no, Sonya has gone in and does get killed, picked up by the Genji. But the Zul goes down instead, as well as the Misha. Once again, we reverted back to this brawling playstyle from both teams, really trying to one-up each other.
Well, there's no Zerglaive at the moment, so it's nothing to fight over, so might as well make your own fight. As now Ultras gets slid on by the ETC, going to dash out safety, the warp interrupted by Misha. As now X-Ray's looking for blood, going to get some support combat. And looking to get away, Phoenix not so lucky though.
Yeah,
Dino. Got the wrath of the boss on him.
Yeah, Dino trying to harass as much as possible. Really looking to get a traps and mines down here. All being able to peel away and shoot off. But we see EPG Frozen looking to pick up this boss as well.
This is another thing that Genji does on this map. He has the perfect defense, so he can do so much damage to his boss, as we're seeing here. As if the hero did have already enough strength on this map, this is a very quick boss picked up for them. Now level 10 as well, so this other fort is almost certainly forfeit at this point.
Yeah, these bosses on Braxis, it's sort of a bit of hit and miss sometimes. It's a very powerful boss, but in the early game, it tends to not do a great deal. But what it has done is given the opportunity for level 10s to be here on the side of EPG Frozen. We do see the 7-sided strike from the Karazim, so looking to punish those aggressive plays that Sonya has already been doing. We see them now trying to take up this Bruiser camp as well, and Calm just can't do anything about it. No level 10, no mosh pit, no fight.
Boss strong enough to get this fort down though, thanks to level 10 threat, and they were just using it as a distraction. EPG Frozen used their time to get both of the red side's mercenary camps, so now they're in complete control of the map. Someone needs to go and hit this top point though, while the camp's being cleared out. Looks like Ultra's going to make it just now. Still a bit of time with the level 10 advantage, but really I don't think there's any chance this circle is getting contested, and that's bad news if you're supporting the side of 3K Blue.
Yeah, we do see, obviously, Gia here with the Rexar contesting this bottom point as long as possible with Misha. She's a sturdy girl, that bear. And we see Dino in the top lane instead, pushing out, sort of offering the flower of hope to 3K Blue to maybe try and gank him. But I'm sure he's got some traps and mines there to be able to escape. We see this big fight here at the bottom here. Calm getting the 7-sided strike. The mosh pit goes down. Oh, and that is Karazim caught in there as well. Nano pops the Archon. We see a lot of damage goes down. Misha also going to be taken out as well. That's a little bit of hope actually coming in from 3K Blue here.
And you were talking about the top lane Junkout with his plans, but his plans are foiled as the concussion mine missed, so Sonya just jumping onto him, going to find the nice kill there. So 3 picks going the way of 3K Blue. Are they able to do anything with it though, because it is still the top lane pushed up quite well, so OPJ5 now freeing himself up, and it's just still a 3v3 at the bottom here. Macro advantage is paying off now, so not even anything happening with the kills.
The Bears have come out. Wit was slept, and he's now been stunned twice, and I do think he's going to go down. Yep, very nicely done here on the side of 3K Blue, but Phoenix gets picked up on the other side. This is going into one of those all-out brawls, as we said. The control coming out, though, from EPG Frozen, it's just too much to be able to take an elongated fight. And Nano's going to look like he's going down as well. Coffee.
The Force Wall is trying to get safety, but guess what? They just all jump over it. They don't really care. OP Deathlife trying to do what he can to Rexar, but no, you're not going to just kill Gia quite that easily. Ultra's now on the hunt, trying to find himself Ana. Going to think a little bit better though, as now it's level 13s for the side of EPG Frozen should be the Zergo going over towards them.
It does seem like that way, but we do see a little bit of invade here on the bottom point. Yep, Calm really trying to contest as much as possible, delaying this game to maybe get into a little bit of the later stages. I'm not quite sure what they're hoping for in the later stages. Obviously, you'll get a more sturdy Sonya is always something to consider.
Now, the team fight composition will fall off for the side of EPG. They do need these skirmishers as they are lacking a solid front line where NA have. But we're not getting to the late game, and this keeps going the way it is. As Anna is gone, pulled in by the concussion mine. Gia and Misha trying to chase down Nano. No, he actually gets the Archon off in time. Exolim trying to run down this Rexel too, but Dino is here to dissuade any killing of the big boy, as it is another Zerg wave going over to the side of EPG Frozen though.
Now, do you think this is going to be a keep here? Because there's not really a great deal they can do to clear up these Zerg waves.
Now, it is level 13 advantage as well, so we will see what they're able to do though, but Wit is off clearing the top lane. They're just trying to get the split pressure, looks like, with these Hellbats, but now oh no, Calm does actually power side away, not going to be falling just yet, as the Zerg has arrived. See what's able to happen here. 7-sided onto Deathlife, going to run for the hills, but that means the Keeper's taking a lot of damage. Misha also taking a lot of damage, going to fall in the end there. But it is the keep going down. Zol in the meantime getting the top keep on the split push. These Hellbats, minus 20 armor is really good. So that will be that falling as well, but they're not done yet. Ultras goes in with a Dragon Blade. He's found Nano. He's going for a Jankso, finds that one. This Genji, he's been nerfed so many times, but it's not enough to stop Ultras. Going to find more kills, as that is 4 members falling. There's still some Zerg left, as well as the Hellbats, so this is going to be 12 minutes onto the core. GG's have been called by the side of VK Blue, as core finds 1, but that will be the 2-0 going over to EPG Frozen.
Yep, EPG Frozen now going into the grand finals. Pass it back to you, Sammy.
Come back here. Have now with EPG Frozen well played by them, closing out the series in a quick 2-0, and they will go up in the grand finals against the winner of the winner bracket game between 3K Blue and Pepper Malady. It's going to be Pepper Malady. And as Pepper Malady is coming from the winners bracket, they have of course a winner's advantage. Somewhere you get a map. Here we do in Heroes Launch we usually do that the team coming from the winners bracket can go for the map of their choice, and they can decide if they want to go for the first pick on this map or not. And they decide to bring us instantly towards Battlefield of Eternity, and they want the first pick there.
And we did see, well, actually, I mean, well, there's no sliver of doubt that EPG Frozen were the better team in our previous series, just like when 3K Blue had to go up against Pepe. So both these teams have done a very convincing job of taking down 3K Blue. So I think we are in for quite an exciting grand finals now. BUE also a very exciting map to start off with. Got a lot of early game action, and we know that at the very least, the side of EPG are up for some early skirmishing with their previous games the way they went.